The Northern Territory's most senior doctors have called for the immediate cancellation of elective surgery at top-end hospitals as they prepare to deal with the outbreak. Live now to Matt Cunningham. Matt, I understand you've got a copy of the letter that the doctors have sent the Chief Health Officer. What does it say?
Well, Ash, this is a letter that's been written by probably 6 of the most senior doctors working in the Northern Territory health system. It includes Getty Palmer, who is the Director of Emergency, Mahaban Thomas, the Director of Surgery, and Katherine Roberts, who's the Co-Director of the Division for Women and Children. Now, they are warning about the risk, the particular risk here in the Northern Territory, and urging the health authorities here to take more drastic action. They say the NT population is doubly vulnerable and its critical care resources more finite than any other Australian jurisdiction. They go on to list 13 immediate actions that they wish to see taken. Now, among those actions is the suspension of all community outreach services, the suspension of all outpatient services except for Category 1 triage cases, the suspension of all dental services, and most crucially, the suspension of all elective surgery except for urgent cases. Now, there are particular concerns, Ash, about the potential for coronavirus to spread to the remote Indigenous communities here in the Northern Territory. They've gone on to list 3 other things that they would like to see done within the next 2 weeks. They include a permanent surgeon and a permanent anaesthetist placed at both the Katherine and the Gove hospitals. Now, of course, we're dealing not just with this outbreak at an urban level, but also the tyranny of distance here in the Northern Territory. That's not just affecting people in remote Indigenous communities, but also pastoralists on some of those remote cattle stations. I spoke to Ashley Manakaris from the Northern Territory Cattlemen's Association. Now, he says that some of his members, some people living on those remote cattle stations, have now been told by Woolworths that Woolworths is unable to send them supplies because of the panic buying that we have seen at supermarkets across the country. Here's a bit more of what he had to say.
The reality is that they may well have access to fresh food, like beef and probably some salt as well, but there are a whole series of other necessities that they will go without. And I'm not just talking about toilet paper, which seems to be what's running off the shelf. I'm talking about things like baby formula and baby food.
Ash, those people on those cattle stations could be 500, 600, 700 kilometres from the nearest supermarket. Ashley Manakaris said they now have a choice. They can drive into one of those supermarkets, take that trip that would take the best part of a day, but when they get there, they're also faced with the prospect that those shelves could be empty. So I think, to echo the Prime Minister's words from earlier today, for people to be sensible and only buy what they need, well, you really can see the impact that panic buying is having on some of those people in the most remote parts of this country.